Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, Godfrey. Godfrey, what's up,
back
God?
again, man.
Man.
Back in Houston. I had to come through. I said, Willie, you know I got to come through, man. What's up? I want to do that one. Now it's one-on-one. Before it was you and, Scarface.
Right.
And now it's just you. I said, I've been watching your one-on-one. Dope. I said, I gotta get a piece of this, son. You know?
Man, I had to get a piece of that action at your show, man. I went to your show the other day, and man, you had a heckler, man. This dude was sitting right next to me, man.
Are you serious?
I started to whoop him, but then I said, I ain't no use to being disruptive, you know what I'm saying? Somebody else will whoop him, you know? But this dude was right next to me, man, and, he was sitting over, he was hugged up with his girl, and he was embarrassing his girlfriend.
Oh, so he was talking shit with his girl.
That's the dude that you yelled out, and you said you was messing with him. You cussed him out. You said something about him.
Was I imitating him?
Yeah, he was saying something stupid like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, that dude.
He was like, yeah, what I'm talking about. You started messing with him. But the dude, he was all night. The dude did that throughout your whole set.
Yeah, man, I had to, that shit's annoying, man. But I had to, because the rest of the crowd is with you. Yeah. And when you have one fucking tumor, and you know what I'm saying? And I have, hecklers can be like tumors, benign or malignant.
Right.
And there's sometimes they're having such a good time, you go, he's not being mean, he's just fucking obnoxious, but he's enjoying himself. And then you got to think in your head, this guy paid money because he wanted to come see. Sometimes they're so excited to see you. There was a lady on another show who was so excited to see me. She's going, yeah, Godfrey, yeah, oh, yeah. And what am I going to go, bitch? Sit your ass down. The fuck, man? I know you paid, but bitch, you just interrupted me. Yeah. No, you can't do that. She was so nice, and she was an older lady. She was like, yes, Godfrey, I love you. Ah! It was like the Holy Ghost. But I was like, okay, she crazy. Ain't she crazy? I kind of let her do her thing and try, because people were like, God damn, lady. But I'm not gonna. It was all good intention. Like, my man wasn't being mean.
That's right.
He wasn't being mean. He was like, hey, man, yeah, goddamn it, hey, you get damn right, baby. and he was an old school cat.
And I'm just poking fun when I started to whoop him, because I ain't gonna lie, dude.
I had Willie D in the building. He was gonna whoop someone's ass for me.
But listen. He was like the sideshow. Like, the dude had me laughing. Just how he was talking, man. And he seemed like he was like sharp bus window licking slow, right? The dude was like,
I remember, because I was fucking with him. It was getting laughs. See, if everybody's getting laughs with it, what I do is, in my head, I go, all right, this guy, I don't know how long he's gonna do this, but let me fuck with him. See if I can get laughs off of it. Yeah, you keep going. Like, oh yeah, that's right, motherfucker. Yeah, goddamn. And if you can get laughs, you go, good. At least it's going with the show. But I had another show. This was last night, so I talked about Vietnamese, because you guys have a huge Vietnamese population.
We do.
And I grew up with a lot of Vietnamese people in Chicago, fresh off the boat. My friends can speak English now. When I knew my friends in grade school, they couldn't speak no English. They were just like, I'm from Vietnam. That's how you know Vietnamese people. Their language, there's Chinese. Chinese talk like, when you hear Chinese people, they're like, that's Vietnamese. You hear Korean, that's Korean. Vietnamese, they kind of ghetto. I ain't gonna front. That's Southeast Asian. Just pretend like you're drinking water. That's Vietnamese, like, I ain't Vietnam. And the word for black is me dang, because they used to always say me dang. That means black American. Yeah. We used to go to this Vietnamese store to play video games, and they could be like this, me dang, me dang, me dang. We were like, yo, what the fuck is this me dang shit? It means black.
Man, I'm going to be listening from now on.
From now on, me dang. All black people in Houston, when you hear me dang, They ain't saying dang. They're saying nah. They're saying black person, me dang, me dang. Mm-hmm. And there was a Vietnamese girl in at the show, which was beautiful. They came out to see me. They were like, yo, you right. And then when you say dung ma, that means like fuck, motherfucker. Dung, they say dung ma. And they were like, yo, he knows his shit. And I had the Vietnamese people dying laughing. And I said, everybody, I want you to look at my validation. She's like, you are right. And then I said, Vietnamese are ghetto as fuck. Don't fuck with them. They will give you that business because we had Vietnamese gangs in Chicago. I grew up in Chicago. We had Vietnamese gangs. They come from the Vietnam War. Do you know the Vietnam War, Vietnam beat the U.S. We lost the Vietnam War. This is no disrespect to any soldiers at all. We lost it. If you want proof, you can watch the PBS 11-part series on PBS. It's the Vietnam War by Ken Burns, who's the greatest documentary maker living. Watch the 11-part series. Vietnam beat the U.S., even though Nixon was just bombing the fuck out of the Vietnamese people, which was unnecessary. They beat the U.S. because the U.S. troops did not understand the landscape of Vietnam.
Yeah, the terrain, yeah.
And the rice farmers, they used the rice farmers. The most clever strategic shit we had ever seen was the fact that they were in holes. They were in holes pretending like, you know how we do now? We put bushes on our head to make it look like they started that shit. And they came out of holes shooting. The U.S. was unprepared for it. It's in the documentary. I was like, it was one of the most clever, strategic military shits they had ever done. And they were just losing. And then the Vietnamese beat the shit out of the French, kicked the French out because the French were there. So the Vietnamese are a small country of some of the toughest people you will meet. All my friends I grew up with were tough. They were always scrapping. They always had weapons on them. All of my friends had weapons. The Cambodians were my next door neighbors. They had weapons. They come from that war-torn country, you know what I mean, that has been fucking raped and pillaged, and they just are tough people, man. Yeah. And so I said this, and a dude in the back was like, you fucking lying, fuck you, you're lying. He was mad that I said we lost the war. And everyone was like, we did lose it. Why are you mad? I said, I'm not disrespecting soldiers. I said, well, why don't you go watch, since you complaining, go watch the series, go watch the documentary. But no, you want to be a dumbass and not look at information. And I'm like, I don't know if you're a soldier or not, but one thing I don't do is disrespect anybody that served. But we did lose the Vietnam War. It's just like the Confederate, right? We lost. Didn't the South lose in the Civil War? All right, so I'm like, what you get mad at me for? I go, and then man kept just going. I said, nah, fuck you, fuck it. We going back and forth. And I said, it's so funny how everybody's a tough guy at a comedy club. Everybody's a tough guy at the comedy club, but nobody heckles an MMA fight. Nobody heckles a boxing match. Y'all be sitting quiet as fuck looking, who's winning? No.
Man, how do you do that, man? Like you're a serious guy who makes a living finding the humor in that seriousness. Yeah. How do you juxtapose the two?
There's an equation for comedy. Comedy is time plus pain. That's where comedy comes from. Most comedy comes from serious shit. Most comedy comes from anger, annoyance, most of it. Happy comedy, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's mostly like, because, you know, most comics be like, man, don't you hate when you get on the elevator and someone just start talking to your ass with badass breath? Everybody be dying. They go, hell yeah, I fucking hate that shit. People live through that. Like, so comedians go, I'm going to talk about that shit. Because you're basically speaking for people who want to say shit and they can't say it and they kept it. You know, you ever have that boss that be all over you at the cubicle and they be like, hey, what you doing? Huh? Okay, just checking on you.
Right.
And people go, my boss is like that. I fucking hate this dude. So that's where the laughter comes out of. Because you're like, oh. It's inciting laughter when people can relate. You got people relating to you. Nostalgia fucks people up. Hey, remember when you used to have the TV that had the little antenna on it? Oh, shit. The nostalgia, relations. And it's just, so it just, that's where the comedy comes from. It comes from serious shit. Because joking is one of the most serious things in the world. People always go, why aren't you should, women will tell me this shit. Why you're never serious? I go, well, what do you have anything to talk about? You want me to just say you're pretty all day? The fuck is that? Do you have anything to talk about? We can talk about, you want to talk about politics, talk about science, talk about math. I'm a pretty educated guy. My father was an educator for 45 years. I read a lot of books. What are you talking about? I joke because it's a serious thing for me. You know, I don't joke because a lot of times they say you're joking because you're trying to hide something. And there's some truth to it, but I just think a lot of shit is funny.
This is what I want to know. You grew up in Chicago, right?
Yes, I did. Born in Nebraska, grew up in Chicago.
You grew up in Chicago.
Yes.
And people who have actually been to Chicago know that there's some good side of Chicago and there's some bad side of Chicago.
Yes, sir.
Now, when it's good, it's good, but when it's bad, it's bad.
Man.
And, I grew up in Fifth Ward in Houston, and we got it's good and good, and we got the bad and bad, right? But the thing is that I've seen people get killed for joking. Like, I've seen people get killed telling jokes. Yeah. You know, like talking about somebody's mama, or even just talking about a person, just dressing them down. I've seen people get killed. Yeah. So I was always cognizant of being careful about how to joke and who you joke with.
That's right.
Right? Because people aren't the same every day they wake up.
No.
One day it might be cool that we joking and you cracked on me. But on this day I'm in a bad mood, man. I ain't feeling it. And I told you already, man, I ain't feeling it. Right. But then you gonna still you still with it.
That's the fairness that you giving them. My thing is communicate that to me. If we have, like, me and you have a relation where we know when we joke and then we know when we're serious.
Right.
Like, if you let him, especially the jokey motherfucker, let him know, like, hey, I just want to let you know today I'm just not really in the mood. My man, I'm good. All you do is tell him.
Cross that line, then he looking for it.
That's it. Yeah. But if let's say we at a comedy club, you came to a comedy club. We ain't in church.
Right.
We ain't at your job. You came to a comedy club. It says, you online, it said comedy club. They say, hey, man, let's go to see some comedy. Okay, let's go to a comedy club. Right. You go to a comedy club. Now, there's some comedians that go out to reach and fuck with the audience. They just go, hey, man, look at you with that hat on. That's like DL be like, how you doing, brother?
Hey,
what's going on? I see that hat is tight as fuck, nigga.
That's the first person came to mind.
DL is one of my favorite comics. I don't give a fuck. People be like, DL is, first of all, he's so politically smart now. He's just really merged into this political giant to me. Because it's not easy to do political jokes. Like, he really is into politics. It's not an accident that he was at the DNC, which I thought was fucking huge. A lot of people disagree, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We speak for a living. As a hip-hop artist, as a podcaster, as an interviewer, we talk for a living. Everything's not going to be perfect, Mm-hmm. But DL will talk about some serious political shit. Then he'll go, what's up, brother? What's your name? And just start. But that's what DL does. And if you don't know DL be like, say, brother, that suit's a little tight, ain't it? And he's fucking good at it. But I don't pick at the audience. I'm not really a crowd work dude, but I got the skill to do it. Like when the dude was heckling, I was like, yeah, I got that. Just coming up from just coming up from the Bernie Mac's room, and just the black side of Chicago performing in the ghetto rooms in New York, all that. I got that skill, but I don't have any interest in the audience at all. I don't shut the fuck up when I'm up there. I got jokes. I just want to tell my jokes. If you say something a little bit boo boo, but I don't want to go, y'all are y'all together? Y'all just fucking? I don't
So you don't have any interest in that personal life?
I don't have any interest in speaking to you, none of that. Some dudes will go after some cats that didn't do nothing to them and start talking about them. Now, like you said, motherfuckers get hurt for that shit. Some cats don't know how to take jokes, and that's why I think that's one of the main reasons why I don't really fuck with people, because you don't know who you're dealing with. Some guys be like, man, I ain't in the mood for all that, but they are sitting all cool and shit like, yo, man, shut the fuck up, man.
Because a lot of guys come to the comedy show because they was dragged to the comedy show by their
true.
girl.
That's so true.
It's no secret.
They already mad that they came to see you. I love Godfrey. He like, okay. Yeah, you hell, motherfucker. And then the girls laughing. He's like, yo, why don't you relax with all that shit? And then the comedian goes, this motherfucker ain't laughed since the whole time, just fucking frowning. And they be like, and everyone's laughing at him. He's like, got one more time, dog. You got one more motherfucking time. That motherfucker brandishes his fucking gun like this. Who laughing now? And you're like this. I'm so sorry.
You ever seen somebody actually brandish a gun before?
Hey, one dude brandished a gun on me.
Really?
But there's stories of everybody. Yeah.
Man,
I remember
that story, man.
This was in Chicago. And this is when I first started doing comedy. I'm like my second year into comedy. And this motherfucker was loud. So this is when, when you young, I was really like, you just all over the place. Yeah. And I was telling this motherfucker like, man, and I was every time like, hey, man, fuck you. I said, man, you need to speak properly. You can't even heckle properly, motherfucker. What's wrong with you? I was going in on him. This motherfucker stuck his boot out. He said, you got one more time, motherfucker. One more. The gun. He was like, who laughing now? Who the fuck laughing now? I was like, I'm so sorry, sir.
Your way out of it?
Oh, man, the cops came and grabbed him. I was like, he was like this. Oh, nigga, it's a game now. Huh? You think that shit funny? Oh, Chicago, Southside. Motherfucker had a gun, little piece in his boot. A Derringer. Yep. In his boot. I was like, yeah. But that's the chance you take, though. That can happen to you, but it doesn't scare me from traveling and going on stage and do what I love to do. I think most of the time, at least 98% of the time, comedians are safe, man. And a lot of times too now, I tell people, listen, and I even say in my shows, I go, listen, man, you don't have to like my jokes. I ain't getting paid by the ha-ha. You know what I'm saying? Once you come in the room, I got the money already. So if you choose, I think you should always have an open mind. I think you should try and watch comedians. Even if they're not famous, just be a fan of comedy too. But I'm not, it's like you know where you're at, man. You can watch people's video now. They got YouTube, they got Instagram. Before you go see somebody, go and look at what they're doing. Like, oh, what kind of style are they? Nah, he curses too much. I can't do that. Oh, this person talks about women too much. Don't go see Corey Holcomb and get surprised that he's talking about women. He's
talking about women.
Yo, Corey be like, yo, bullshit ass bitches. Yo, I'm paying $4 for your ass. It's hilarious. I love Corey Holcomb because he's from Chicago. Man, I came up with Corey.
Corey, they can say what they want to say about Corey, but Corey one of the best to ever do it.
Corey be having me.
He's the upper echelon.
He's upper echelon. He's earned his spot regardless of how you feel about him. He's what he is.
Yeah.
Eddie Griffith. I just saw Eddie Griffith in New York City. He just pissed off this all-white group. It was the funny. He had his yellow. He had yellow on, his yellow hat, and he was talking about, oh man, I'm getting tired of these old ass bitch ass niggas. And they were like, you can't say. I said it. Oh bitch ass nigga. And it's like it's Eddie Griffith. Eddie Griffith is what it is.
You can say nigga, but you can't say.
No, yeah, you can say nigga all day.
Okay.
And nigga. I remember a lady told me I was saying retard because I feel that word is coming back into the American lexicon. Retard. I said, oh, I can't wait. Retard's coming back. Because I'll say retard and a joke and people start laughing. I go, oh, so you guys want it back. Retard. And one lady goes, that's a bad word. You can't say that. It was a white lady, because white women are usually the destruction to comedy. White women, because, remember Paul Mooney said, when a white woman cries, you better be careful. White woman tears. Here we go. Niggas are in trouble. Here comes a goddamn white woman. Every time a white woman calls, a goddamn nigga gets arrested. When a black woman cry, nobody give a fuck. A white woman cry, you're like, oh shit, shh, quiet. White woman crying.
Speaking of white women, what?
Hold on.
Go. Yeah, make your point first.
But when she goes, I was talking about retard. Retard. The word retard. The definition of retard. The different definitions. Like when you're a firefighter. that when they say we got to retard the fire, you got to slow down the burning of the fire. You use a retardant. It's actually, there's a retardant, it's a chemical. It's not like a one person going, no, fire. But it's not like you send out, we're going to send out the retardant. The guy's just, no. And when I explain everything. I go, when you were late for class, what did they say you were? Tardy.
Yeah.
I said, there's a lot of tard in Spanish. Buenos tardes. Tard. Tard is in the word. It means late. You're late. See you later. And so I said, we're bringing back retard. She goes, that's a bad word. You shouldn't say that. I said, what word are you talking about? She said, retard. And I said, but the last comic said nigga 800 times and you didn't flinch.
My point.
And you were laughing. Now, if I would have said, you retarded nigga, she'd be like, stop saying retarded.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad word.
Right.
It's the same thing you just said. But what were you going to ask?
What is your beef with Queen Elizabeth, man? I mean, you seem like you
saw that shit?
Show, man, and you just seem to have a particular disdain for the Queen.
Listen, okay. So you were there for that one. The Queen, yeah. Because I remember we would always watch on TV, the Queen is coming to America. Oh, God, it's the Queen. Oh. You remember how people would like meet the Queen, Michael Jackson, all the big people would meet the Queen, and they had to shake her hand. Hello, everyone. I'm the Queen. I'm a cunt. Did you know that? I'm a fucking cunt. But when you read about her, when you start to go, let me see what's up with this royal family shit. I was talking about the Meghan Markle shit, because I believe Meghan Markle hustled her way. She hustled him. I don't think she loves Prince Harry personally. I said it on my podcast, In Godfrey We Trust, by the way. I said, no. I said,
which is very good podcast.
Thank you very much. You've been on it, and I appreciate
good podcast.
Thank you. I thank you for being on it. And I was like, I think that the Queen is full of shit, and I think that whole royal family thing is a little corny now. Why are they still a royal family? Why are they still dressed like doormen and shit with their little, all that shit? But anyway, so I find out she ruled for 70 years. She died at 96. She was a queen at 26 years old. Ruled for 70 years.
No, she didn't die in 96.
No, she died at 96.
Oh, yeah, you said she died in 96.
At 96.
Yeah, right.
And she... They colonized all of like the Caribbean. They colonized Nigeria. Mm-hmm. They colonized India. The British Empire ruled and colonized a lot of shit and stole a lot of shit. The crown she's wearing is all stolen shit from India and Africa. All that golden carrot, all stolen. Everything's been stolen. The museums in England are all stolen African artifacts. Everything, and a lot of countries are asking for their shit back. And she was the one, and that really pissed me off when I found out she was the one that signed for the apartheid to happen. So I was like, fuck her. I just like, fuck that bitch. You know what I mean? I just thought she would, and even with Princess Diana, I was like, I think somebody did some foul play to her because they didn't like her. And she had interviews where she was like, they don't like me. I don't think they like me. Because, Princess Di loved all kinds of people. She shook hands with brown people, everybody loved Princess Diana. And her son, she raised pretty good, I think. And, I just thought that whole royal family shit's overrated. Yeah. Because we always, remember in America, we have to watch some special shit. When they get married, we have to be like, ta-ta-ta, special report NBC. The royal family are getting married. Ta-ta-ta. Yeah. And whenever their kids were born, we had to see these spoiled little white kids. There's so many white kids in America being born. It's just that these white kids have British accents. Mommy, Daddy, Mommy, Daddy. He's the heir to the throne. Fuck that kid. He's a little piece of shit with a fucking tie. Mommy, Daddy, shut up. So I was just like annoyed by the whole thing. And I think Meghan Markle, she's separated from Prince Harry. I think so. I think there's some problems happening. And I said, I believe, if I'm wrong, I will apologize. I believe she hustled her way in. She's an actress. She was on that show Suits. This is Meghan Markle. I think she kind of just kind of, I don't know, parlayed her way into his life. Now she's a duchess. No one knows what the fuck a duchess is, but it's better than a regular chick, right? you know, when Meg Markle's around, they'd be like,
what is she, duchess of what?
She's a duchess of something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Duchess of shit. She's a duchess of something. Duchess of. Wait, let's look it up. What is she a duchess of?
Mario, you looked that up?
Shit. The only thing Dutch that everybody else has is double Dutch. I play double Dutch. Is that the same thing? Is that a champion of double Dutch?
Duchess of Sussex.
She's a Duchess of Sussex.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is the word sex in there? Sussex?
Yeah.
Spells.
Oh, sus and sex.
Sus and sex. Suspect sex. Yeah. So she's always been suspect. And obviously she had sex with her. I said in my podcast when she first married him, I said, she gonna get babies.
You don't think she ever loved him?
I don't know. Maybe. He seemed like a cool dude. He always seemed like the coolest one of the two. Because the brother, once he got bald, he started turning. Have you seen his face now? He started turning to one of them British dicks like, well, my brother. I didn't know. Have you seen? Remember when he had hair? Mm-hmm. He looked like a friendly guy, the older one. What is it? Not Harry, but was it William? I forgot his brother's name.
Yeah, I think his name is.
And he has balding head. He looks like he's aging into that, that douche. Well, my brother, how dare you marry a colored girl? And Harry always seemed like the cooler one. He actually went to the army, fought for the army. He just always seemed like the cooler one. But I just believe that every time I see her in photos, she doesn't look happy. She's like smiling. She just doesn't look happy. And I said
she doesn't look happy. That's true.
She just doesn't. I just didn't seem like
But that's a lot of weight if you think about it, man. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of weight for her, to deal with. She married into a family, a colonizing family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What did you expect? That's the problem. So this is why I don't feel sorry for her. Because she knew exactly what she was getting into.
Exactly.
I don't think she's a dumb chick. I think she's a very intelligent chick.
She's very.
And so she had to know exactly what she was getting into. I know she didn't think that by just marrying Harry that those people was going to change centuries of
slavery, decimation, colonization. And then she got on the Oprah Winfrey show, on Oprah Winfrey's interview, she goes, I didn't know they were so racist.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm so tired of Negro surprise.
Let me ask you this. How do you think...
So tired of that shit.
Why do you think that there's no shortage of people willing to call America out on its racism, but the Britons get a pass?
There's no shortage of people like people.
The British gets a pass.
They get a pass as far as their racism?
Yeah, people don't call them out on their racism as much as they call America out on its racism.
It's their accents. It's the accent. Because something about a British accent. Like when you ever see when you see black people with British accents and they go, it's so racist here. You don't believe it because it's that accent. But, when we go, man, these motherfuckers is racist, man. Crackers. There's a believability with, it's just, we think that Britain is just this elegant, like they have this way of doing things. Their racism is different. You know what I mean? Something about, even though Europe is the headquarters of hatred, we just look at it as a separate thing, but it's the same exact people.
Damn, the headquarters of racism.
Yeah, that's where it all started. Because some Europeans will go, why don't you worry about America and its racism? You guys always think about race there. I go, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. France, you've colonized all of Africa too. The Dutch have colonized. You look at the white South Africans are actually Dutch people. Like Elon Musk, his family stole a bunch of shit from South Africa. That's how he got rich. You got the white South Africans that don't like the black South Africans really, and they've been there since the 1600s. That's the Dutch. You have the Portuguese who've ravaged Africa. You got the French. You got all of these different European countries that started all that shit before America. So when they say, oh, America, it's different, I go, I hate when people say our racism is different. Isn't that weird? And when someone says our racism is different, It's still fucking racism. That's like putting sprinkles on a pile of shit. You know what I mean? That's like me saying, you know, in India, some parts of India, you know how they throw acid in women's faces? I'm not saying all parts of India. There's some parts of India, I saw a documentary where they throw acid in women's faces. That's like me saying, see, man, you India motherfuckers, see, you be throwing acid in women's faces. All we do is we punch bitches out. All we do is beat their ass. I don't know about, it's still abuse, you know? So that's why I think they give England a pass, because we put England at this high regard.
Yeah,
you know,
I think like you said,
royal family.
It's the royal family.
Yeah.
It's the horses. And
the horses and the accent. And even the guards. Even the actors.
Yeah.
Look at all the actors now that are taking over a lot of the American jobs. They're all taking over the American job. I thought Idris Elba was from Baltimore. After watching The Wire, I said, who's that dude from Baltimore? Then I watched him on the BBC. This motherfucker was like, you know, well, I did The Wire. What do you mean you know? The fuck? I said, I thought he was from America. No. Kahlua, who played Fred Hampton, he's a British African guy. You got the girl from...
Now, I'm going to tell you, that offended the shit out of me, bro.
Which one? Oh, when he
played Fred Hampton.
From Chicago.
All these great black actors right here in the U.S. who know the struggle, who actually can identify directly with what Fred Hampton went through.
That was a little weird.
Man, go get his son. If at the very least, go get his son, because his son is a spitting image of him.
Yeah, and have him do it.
Super intelligent. Yeah. I'm talking about super intelligent. He would have killed it.
I don't know how you.
That really offended me.
Yeah, and it's like, what? And listen, not downing him, Daniel Kaluuya, as an African, a Nigerian American. I love him. He's a great actor. But there's certain things that, why can't we just do that? Like, what's her name? Erivo. That Cynthia Erivo, who's playing Wicked, the witch in Erivo, she said some really disparaging shit about African Americans. And then she ends up playing...
Is she British?
She's British Nigerian.
Okay.
If I'm right, I better be right, because I want to make sure if I'm not, you guys can go in the comments and go, he don't even got it right. That motherfucker don't say nothing right. You know how she said some disparaging shit about African Americans.
What did she say?
I want to make sure I quote it right, but if you can get your producers to find it, that would be cool.
Mario,
because I don't want to say anything out of pocket. And she said some shit about, which is funny how almost every foreigner has something to say badly about African Americans. Even Africans sometimes have fucked up shit to say about African Americans, but then everybody comes to America trying to be African American.
And benefit off of our struggle and the work that we put in.
Yeah. And what's really fucked up is she ended up playing Harriet Tubman. I go, wait a minute, you just talked about and shit on African Americans, and you're going to talk about the woman that did so much for African American freedom? You get to play her? You're fucking playing Harriet fucking Tubman? Are you out of your fucking mind? Harriet Tubman would have smacked the shit out of you if you said what you said. How could you say that? How could anybody that looks like you come into America and talk about African Americans when they are the ones that have created the foundation for foreigners to come in? The 1964 Civil Rights Bill is the reason why Koreans, Nigerians, Indians, Arabs can come in and open up businesses in black neighborhoods and still disrespect the fucking same people that are putting money in their pockets. What kind of fucking nerve is that? It's the serious hatred of African Americans in this country. It's in the soil. It's in the fucking soil, like my boy Dante says. That's my co-host. He says it's in the soil. That it's almost patriotic to hate black people. It's patriotic. It's part of the.
Damn.
It's part of that.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's part of the American thing to hate black people. Because let me tell you, I got proof. My Vietnamese friends, I say, why you keep calling us Midang? And my friend Duck, it's Duck. It's not Duck, it's Duck. We used to call him Duck. He says, they tell us, the government tell us to be careful of black people. They tell us that. Yeah. The white people, they tell us, be careful of black people. And I ended up being their friends. My father and my parents buying them clothing. And you got black people giving you clothing and black people hanging out with you and teaching you football and all this other shit. And they told you to stay away from black people. You know, you know what I'm saying? They taught them that shit. And Richard Pryor has a good joke. Rich Pryor had a good one in the 70s where he goes, he's like, yeah, he said, them Vietnamese motherfuckers come into town in America, right? He says, the government says, hey, if you call him a nigger, you're an American. Some shit. Nigga. You ever hear him say that shit?
No, I didn't hear.
Yeah, Richard says it perfect. He said, man, them motherfuckers is racist than motherfucker. He's like, because the white folks tell them, if you say nigger, then you're American. Nigga. Yeah, even Richard Pryor talked about that. And it's sort of like, it's a patriotic thing to hate black people. That's like a normal thing. It's if they gave you a pamphlet, they'll say, oh yeah, and hate niggers. Because every other race, and this is not me downing every race. Of course, there's good people in every race. I want to always state that. This is not to appease anybody. It's just facts.
But shoe fit where, goddammit. Shoe fit where?
Yeah,
whoever the shoe fit. If you in whatever particular group
it's
that
like
you in,
got. And
if he talking about you, hit dog gonna holler.
No doubt. And it's always like every other race is calling you a nigga in their language, whether it's their language. They always say something despising. Mexicans will call you mayate. Oh, fucking mayate. They go, really, Mexicans? We got your back like a motherfucker. There are black Mexicans, too. You got black Mexicans in Oaxaca, Mexico. You got a lot of African roots. A lot of Mexicans helped slaves back in the day. They did. They took them into their houses. There's all that history of blacks and Mexicans like this. That's why when you see this disparity of blacks and Mexicans fighting, it makes no sense. I believe it's America. America constructed us to stay away from each other. That's why they say, don't read no history. Keep all that shit out.
Well, they did the same thing with keeping the blacks in America away from the blacks in Africa. You know, all of it was a part of the social construct. And they're continuing to do it.
The reason why... Remember we had the Asian hate bill? Remember how fast that shit got signed? Why did that shit get signed so fast? This is what I believe. Because China, which is a superpower, was like, you might want to get your shit together because America can't afford to fuck with the Asians in America. Chinese are connected to their people. The Chinese are connected to Asia. So they're like, oh, you want to play games with us? You better get that shit, get that bill signed. Why aren't black people getting the bill signed? What about the anti-black bill that should have been signed 200 years ago? It's not signed. You know why? Because I believe this. We're not connected to Africa. They purposely, the one thing that, okay, J. Edgar Hoover said this, who's part black too, by the way. They're finding out he's part black. J. Edgar Hoover said that the biggest threat to American security is Negro progress. Black people getting together. We have to stop any Messiah. That's why that movie was called The Messiah. We have to stop any Messiah from leading anybody. That's why they took down leaders all the time. We can't get black people to come together. Africa, do you know in Africa, you can't even travel to another neighboring country without a passport? You can't. In Europe, you can go anywhere you want to. And Europeans get to travel all around Africa without passports. But Africans, South African can't go to an East African country, can't go to a neighboring country. If I want to go to Zimbabwe, I need you got to have all these passports.
Whose fault is that?
Well, it's our fault for letting them in.
Boom.
It's our fault for letting them in and being nice because, listen, black people, whether they're Caribbean, African-American, Afro-Cuban, we're just giving people. We're a circular people, man. We're circular. You know what a circle is? A circle invites everybody in. You know, you can make this, anybody can join a circle. Remember when you have big circle? It can be never ending and infinite because everybody can fit in a circle. Europeans are linear. They're linear. They believe in lines like you have yours, I have mine. I face your back, I face your, you know what I mean? But when you're in a circle, you see everybody's face, everybody's included. That's what Africans do. That's what Native Americans do. We're circular people, man. You know what I mean? We dance in circles. We're circular. That's why we're forgiving. Look at how forgiving. I want to go with African Americans. Look how forgiving African Americans are. As much hell as African Americans are, the way they're treated, we should be going around ripping people's fucking heads off, but we don't. We go, you know what? We judge people by if they cool with us. Oh, no, he cool, man. He's a cool white dude. He's a cool Asian dude. He's a cool. And at the same time, they're fucking calling us niggas. We ain't shit. But we always are judging people by their characters, even other black people. We go, I don't like that motherfucker. That's because of our nature.
I was about to say, is that because of some some natural humanitarian thing that's in us, or is it because of fear or some type of cowardness?
It's not. I don't think we're cowardly. I just think we hope that. I think we hope that. I think we always believe there's hope in someone.
Well, why don't we have that same amount of hope for each other?
For each other. That's a good one.
How come we're not as forgiving when it comes to each other?
Each other, because they trained us to be that way. Slave mentality back in the day. They, house niggas, field niggas, colorism, embarrassing, fucking black men in the ass in front of their families, emasculating black men in front of their families. Letting other slaves letting a black man watch the other slaves. You remember they would let a black dude be on watch, the overseer. He's like, you niggas better, don't you, little, fiddler type shit. Yeah. So pitting us against each other, doing that for hundreds of years, it was brilliant. So that's why when we see our own people, we mean mug each other.
It was wicked.
We mean mug each other. We go, we got to get them to hate each other, right? We're going to get them, but they're going to think we're the greatest things in the world. That's why they're going to be forgiving to us. And then we're going to top it with religion. We're going to put religion on there, put this white Jesus up there, because we got to keep that white image. And we're going to be these divine gods. They're going to be all white. So now we got you brainwashed with church, because first of all, with slaves, church was serious. That was like a shelter. Blacks would go to church. That would be that Sunday to praise and, you know what I mean, and be together. And so you got church, you got pitting each other against each other, you got colorism, you got hierarchies during the slave time, you got rape and pillaging and brainwashing of black men and black women and fear of what will happen to you if you try to run away. All of that, yeah, you're going to hate each other. Why do you think in this business, and I'm calling it out, Willie, I'm calling it out, black comedians are some of the worst motherfuckers when it comes to sticking together. That's a fact. I'm not talking about every black comedian. There's some black comedians that do help. They have their little pockets, but we stink. The white boys, I'm keeping it 100. These motherfuckers will do anything to do better than us. They will all go on each other's podcasts. If you haven't noticed that shit, look at Rogan. Man, you know how many motherfuckers I know, white dudes that be on on his podcast? Some of them don't even be that great.
But Rogan put everybody on, though.
He puts.
He don't discriminate.
I didn't say he discriminates, but his majority of guys that is on.
That's true. The majority.
Unless you're a really famous black dude that he's a fan of.
Yeah.
But other than that, Rogan, and I'm complimenting him.
But I've also seen some not so famous black comedians on his show.
Which is good. I saw Ali Sadiq, which I was happy he was on there. Ali deserves that shit.
Yeah.
But majority of his guys are white dudes but after they get to Rogan, their numbers go up, they're selling out shows. That's the way you fucking do that shit.
Right.
That's the way you do. That's why I ask guys, you want to come on my podcast? I'm not Rogan numbers, but if I were ever to be I would love to be able to king motherfuckers. Oh, hey man, I got on Godfrey's show. I'm selling out show. Who doesn't want to do that? Yeah, but a lot of us are very like, I don't want him to have anything. Or we'll be in a room and someone brings up a name and you shit on them in that room because you're a fucking mini gatekeeper. This shit happens, and I know about it because people tell me. I know people in these rooms. I'm not calling any names because that would be foolish because nobody's here to defend themselves, but it's the truth. All this talent we got, and we barely help each other, and anytime we do get in the public, we're dogging each other. Like, oh, this nigga, he ain't. That's all we're good for? White boys they never do that shit. And we go, now, how is this white dude getting all this? I go, let me tell you why. Because he helps his friend. They help that friend. They all right. And listen, don't worry. I'm not ignoring the fact that, of course, they're white. They're going to give whatever the fuck they want. You can be average and white and get a lot of shit. They run it. I get it. But the one thing that never fails is unity, man. Nothing ever fails when you have support. Regardless of when you have support, that's how the black circuit started. back in the day, in the early 1900s, the Toba circuit with Pigmeat Mark and Red Fox, LaWanda Page, and all those great comics. They got together and formed their own shit and started working. That's where black comedy came from. So it's not impossible for us, but it's just the scarcity. Because they planned it that way. You know, they'll let one black person be famous, give them everything. So now they got all us being mad at this one particular person. Now we're mad at this person because they're doing so well and they only give us scraps. So we're all fighting for one spot. White dudes got 70 spots to fight for. You know, I'm just being 100% right now. Black women barely get anything in the comedy game. And there's a lot of funny motherfuckers. A Yamanika Saunders, a Marina Franklin's funny as hell. You know, you got, Zainab Johnson, another funny, intelligent, pretty woman who's amazing at comedy. You got Chloe Hill. You got Hilliard. You got a lot of wonderful black women that are fucking funny.
You can't leave out Cheryl Underwood.
I mean, Underwood, but Underwood's...
She's on a different level.
But Underwood is killing it because she's been on a TV show, thank goodness. And that's
before that,
but yeah,
Cheryl was killing it.
But I'm glad she's on a powerful.
Man.
But I think that somebody in a position like that should have like a show where you're exposing other younger black girl comedians and stuff like that. I think we should all try to do that. I take pride in doing that shit. I love that shit. You know, and I'm a type of. Go ahead.
No, you finish your point.
No.
But here's the thing, like, and I absolutely agree with everything that you said.
Yeah.
What I try to reconcile is, how do you reconcile, like, having that type of mindset that you have and being so acutely aware of everything that's going on in comedy, in those circles, and how you have those comedians, some comedians who are at the top who don't bring anybody along, you know, with doing an impression, a spot-on impression of one of those top comedians who don't bring nobody along. At least I ain't never seen him. Maybe he have, but, you know, that dude that you be talking, doing the impression of, I ain't never seen that dude bring nobody along. No, at least put somebody up on a major pedestal. I ain't really seen that.
Who you talking
about? Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey. Can you name a comedian that he put on that's way up? I'm not talking about that. You know, he give a little action to. I'm talking about somebody who blowing the doors off the arenas.
I don't.
Is there somebody out there?
I haven't seen it,
and he's been winning for a long time.
Long time. I don't, and it's not my place to. Like, oh, you ain't, I don't know, man. He might be one of those guys that goes, hey, I earned my shit.
Let me do it like this. Let me put it like this. Let me just ask Steve directly.
Okay.
You know, like, man, why you ain't put nobody on, man, as far as like blowing up? With all of that action you got, I'm talking about, you always talking about money, and you talking about how big you are, how many shows you got, and all that kind of stuff. You can really, really do a lot for other comedians. How come you ain't really just put nobody on that's out there doing arenas and stadiums and stuff?
Because I don't like nobody. I'm going to tell you this right now. God has blessed me, okay? I used to live in my car, okay? I didn't have shit, okay? I didn't have a goddamn thing. I used to eat out the garbage, okay? Make sandwiches out the garbage. It's because I don't like nobody. I don't give a damn about nobody. I care about my money. I don't care. I feel they going to take that shit from me. I'm just saying, you want me to help somebody. I'm fucking around. I'm just joking. He could have helped somebody. I don't know. I don't know his everyday life. I don't know. I just imitate the guy. I don't ask him for shit. I don't know. I mean, he's a guy that I believe has the power to really do something. I put a platform for some other comic. I really believe that. I don't know what he does. You know what I'm saying? But you believe he just don't hook anybody up. But we don't know what he's doing.
I don't know, but I'm not tripping on the hookup, you know, because I think everybody should.
It doesn't. Right.
I think everybody needs to work for what they get. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not cool with the hookup thing, but I'm just saying, like, when you reach a certain height, you know, like a level like that.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you level up, and you know, like, to me, like, the people who are really, really good at what they do, and the people that are the ones that are really special, the special ones, the ones that are revered, they are the ones who bring others with them.
I have to give like a credit to like D.L. Hughley, for example. Like he's really huge on social media, big time. Sometimes I've had he's put up a few of my videos on his platform because he liked it, and my numbers go up. That's the way you can help. Like if you have millions of followers, DL got 4 or 5 million. DL will put up, and I'll see my numbers go up. I go, damn, my numbers went up real nice today. DL put it up. He posted your shit. That's a way to help. You don't have to go, here's some money. No. What about social media wise? But some of these cats won't even like your shit. Like Michael Blackson looks out from, he'll like my shit. Boom, put a laugh thing on there. People see that and go, because your association, because it's all about association. That's where your value goes. Wow. Yo, that Michael Blackson liked it. Oh, D.L. Hughley put it up. That's important. But some of these motherfuckers will see your shit and won't do that. Ari Spears will do it for me sometimes and go, boom. I liked it. We should do that for each other. But even that, and I ain't giving them I ain't saying shit.
All of those guys that you just mentioned, they are the consummate comedians. They are real life comedians.
Yes.
They breathe that shit.
Yes.
They live that shit.
Yeah. Eat, sleep, and drink it.
They do it for real.
Yes.
So the people there are people that's in your field, your contemporaries. Mm-hmm. They know you got it. Mm-hmm. And just like there are regular fans that know you got it, and I know this question has to be fucking like really tiresome at this point for you, but I know a lot of people always asking, how come you're not bigger? How why? You're one of the best to do it. Like it's easy to see. Just a few minutes, you can see this guy he got it. Name whoever else is out there doing it big right there, and this guy right here, he can stand on that stage and hold his own against anybody out there. So it's one thing when the fans said, because, hey, we just laymen, we just fans, we just,
Yeah.
But I ain't no regular layman. I'm a connoisseur. Right. I'm a comedian. I'm a comic connoisseur, man. Yes. I know this shit.
Yes,
but for others, so it's one thing when we the fans give you your props. Mm-hmm. But it's a whole nother thing when your contemporaries give you your props and they have action. And they say, God, man, I love you, act. Man, I love it when you did this, man. I love it. Well, put me in a motherfucking movie then. No. You know what I'm saying? Why? Like, do you ever be wanting to say something like that?
Yeah.
Like, you like me that much?
I'm like, I'm like this. If you have the power to do it, then do it. If you got a production company, why can't I come and pitch something to you? I'm talking about pitch something, not necessarily that you're going to accept it, but why can't you have your door open for a comic to go, hey man, you have a production company, can I pitch something to you? That's what should happen. And I'm telling you, these white boys do this shit all the time. I'm like, oh, that was dope. I go, okay, cool. I heard you got a production company. I would like to create something on my own. This is not me. You owing me something. This is me coming to you, which would benefit you if it works out. If it don't work out, I'll go back and do something else. And can you leave your door open for me if I have another? Sure. That's how it should work. Because nobody really owes you anything, but you didn't get there on your own either.
Right.
Bill Cosby, I'm sorry to bring that up, but it's almost like a bad word to say Cosby. But Bill Cosby got in because of a man named I forgot his name now. But there was a man who was a producer of the Dick Van Dyke Show, okay? And Cosby, back in the 60s, they didn't allow black people on this or that. Cosby broke those barriers for stand-up comics. Richard Pryor was influenced by Bill Cosby. People got to recognize that shit. Pryor wanted to be Bill Cosby. And Cosby, it was a man, I forgot his name, but he was an actor. And he saw Cosby and said, I want Cosby to be on I Spy. I think this guy he has what it takes. And they were very reluctant. It was with Robert Culp. Robert Culp, who was remember Greatest American Hero? Believe it or not. Mm-hmm. He was the old dude in that. He and Bill Cosby took a chance on Bill Cosby to be on I Spy in the 60s. So someone helped Cosby. When you look at Cosby, you think he must have done it by himself. Hell no, he didn't.
Ain't nobody.
Nobody, but some people act like they did it on their own. You just had Tony Rock. Tony Rock was on somebody's podcast.
Another like super dope dude.
It's another funny dope. Ass. That's dope. My man. $100,000. Yeah. Another consistently
and solid.
Him being under his brother's like thing. He's established himself. He doesn't sound like his brother. He's a whole different type of guy. And I was like feeling what he was saying. He goes, there was a movie my brother had, and he didn't put me in it. Like. One thing I give credit to the Wayans, they put their family in their shit.
But it wasn't just that, Godfrey. He said that he had stopped at a comedy store in
tell him
in New York. He was just coming through, and he stopped at the comedy store.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he said the Comedy Cellar, but it was one of those comedy clubs. Mm-hmm. That's your spot, Comedy Cellar, right?
Comedy Cellar.
Yeah.
New York City, baby.
Yeah. So that's where you do your residency at.
Yes.
Okay. So, but. He said he stopped at a comedy spot in New York, and Chris was there with some other comedians.
Yeah.
And Chris saw him and was like, "Yo, man, I got a spot. I got something for you, man. This new movie that I'm doing, and blah blah blah." Yeah. And then he said, next thing you know, he ain't heard nothing. Months go by, he hadn't heard nothing. Then next thing you know, people on the set call him, say, "Where you at?" And he's like, "What do you mean where I'm at?" Like.
Can I tell you?
Yeah, we over here filming.
You know what the movie was? It's called Top 5.
Yeah, Top 5, right.
Can I tell you about Top 5? So I'm at the Comedy Cellar. I'm sitting with my friend. It's like, it's Truck Hudson. Was it Truck Hudson? Another comic, because I think he was there. Yeah, he was there. You know how sometimes you never remember who was there? This guy, Truck Hudson. And I'm at the table. It's a place called the Olive Tree, because the Comedy Cellar, the original Comedy Cellar, because there's 2 now, has a restaurant at the top, and at the bottom you do comedy. So I'm at this table, Chris Rock walks in, and it's just me and this dude, and there's nobody else around. Chris goes, "Hey, what's going on?" Blah, blah, blah. I said, "Oh, what's up, Chris?" Blah, blah. He goes, "I got this movie." I said, "Oh, word?" "Yeah, so I got a movie. If you, I got some parts, He said he had some parts. I go, "Oh, word? So are you telling me that you're going to put me in it?" I was like, why are you telling me? And he goes, "Yeah, you just call my." He said to Facebook something. He couldn't get his number or nothing. He get Facebook or some shit. He said. I said, "All right, okay." He approached me. I said, "You saw this, right?" He approached me to talk about a movie, unless he was bragging about it. I go, "Okay." So I try to go through the procedures to hear about this movie. And I leave a message for his or whoever producer. "Hey, Chris Rock just told me about a film. He said there's some smaller parts coming or whatever." Because I know Cedric the Entertainer was in it, some other people. So I hear about this movie. Then my agents bring up this movie. Some weeks later, "Hey, there's a movie. Chris Rock got a movie. It's called Top 5. I go, "Oh, he told me about that. He said that he might have a part for me." "He did, huh?" "Yeah, I haven't heard anything." And then there's a table read. I go, "Oh, can you help? They want you to do a table read for Top 5. I said, "Oh, really? I guess maybe I'm reading for my part." This is what I'm thinking. And the guy that asked me to read was a guy named Tony Hernandez, who was producing on that. But I did it as a favor for Tony Hernandez because he was producing the Louis C.K. show. Because Louis C.K. put me on his show. I did 2 episodes of Louis C.K. show without auditioning because Louis fucks with me. In a weird way, Louis fucks with me. And I got on the Chris Rock show when Chris Rock had that show on HBO. Mm-hmm. I did sketches on there because Louis C.K. put me on there. It wasn't Chris Rock that did. It was Louis C.K. because he was one of the that put me on there. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Louis C.K. is Mexican too. He's Mexican and white. So in his first language was Spanish, just to let you know that. But Louis C.K. put me on. So then, and Louis was so great. Louis goes, "Godfrey, you can make anything funny, man. That's why I picked you." And I go, "Wow, that's great. Thank you. I don't get that very often." And my episodes were great. He hooked me up. And so I do the table read. It's me, Rosario Dawson, Chris Rock is there. It's some other actors there. I'm sitting next to the producer, Scott Rudin, very big movie producer. And I'm reading For Cedric the Entertainer's part, I'm reading for everybody else's part, but I don't even know if I have a part.
Right.
I did it for Tony Hernandez as a favor, and I read 5 different parts. I killed in that room. I was switching my voice up, blah, 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 and that was it. Chris didn't say anything to me. Everybody walked out the room. He said nothing to me, and I was just like, and the movie was shot. He told me about it. I never got in it. That's why when Tony was talking about it, I go, wow, that's funny, because he did that to me. And you're his brother.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a little like, but I mean, I was a little disappointed. I've always been a Chris Rock fan, always respected his comedy game the whole night, but I didn't like that shit. I thought that was, I'm all about manhood shit, man. Just like you, I'm about my boy Dante Nero, who does a really great podcast called Man School 202. He's fantastic. Him, my boy Ruben Paul in LA. There's certain guys that I hang with that we're just honest and we're about manhood. We're doing man shit. We don't fuck around. We don't do this like iffy shit. If something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If not, it's not happening. Cool. Like, why would you do that? I just, you know what I mean? You, it's your movie and you're telling me I'm minding my business and you tell me, hey man, I got this film. I go, oh, cool. And that shit, it hurts you a little bit. Like, damn, I would have liked to have been in that movie. That, if I would have auditioned and didn't get it, that's cool. I didn't get it. Not a big deal. But that was like, you came to me. The source came to me.
Brought the opportunity.
And I was like, should I go for it? Okay, let me go. And then I go and read your script for you. And I put my time in to read the script. It's no different than being rejected. I got rejected. They say, why aren't you on SNL? Well, I got rejected 3 times in SNL. The first time I did an audition for SNL was like, it was me, it was Tracy Morgan, Jimmy Fallon, all of us, Kevin J, all of us. Everybody's auditioning.
So, how in the hell does somebody as good as you, especially with impressions,
I don't know,
and how do they not take advantage of that? Like,
they don't like niggas, goddammit.
You're like
suck my
dick. Man, you like it's almost like getting 10 for 1 or something. 20 for 1. Like you got all of that. It's just it. Man, let me ask you something. If you were to do comedy in any other era, what would it be and why?
I would do it in the 80s. The 80s would be good. 80s and 70s and 80s.
Yeah, and why?
Because comedy was so, like, I mean, comedy was not new, but it was so refreshing to be yourself and to break barriers. That's what Pryor did. Pryor broke barriers, because Richard Pryor was trying to be Cosby for a while, trying to be clean. And just like Cosby, he was different. He was clean, he was smart, intelligent, good looking, blah, blah. Pryor was like, I want to be like him. But then Pryor said, fuck that. I was raised, my mother was a hoe. My father was a pimp. I grew up around pimps and hustlers in Peoria, Illinois. And then he became the crazy nigga. April 29th, 1971, Live and Smoking. He's at the Improv in New York, finally talking about his drug dealing mama, his because have you ever seen Live and Smoking?
I'm not sure.
And he's bombing, but it's like, this is the Pryor that he was becoming. This is 1971, April 29, 1971, Live and Smoking. And Richard Pryor's going, yeah, the only time I saw white people was when they came to fuck my mother.
Huh.
Oh, well, it's like this. Is your mother home? I'll check to see. We want to get our dick sucked. Okay, hold on. It was... it was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
And that's why the 70s was like, because, you're coming from the 60s and the Vietnam War and free love and, all that, everybody was rebellious. So that would have been cool, experimental type shit to see Richard Pryor saying nigga in front of white audiences going, say, nigga, you suck my dick, goddamn. People were like fucked up with that. And then in 1979,
he was saying some other words too. Like he would say cracker and pickle.
Yeah, he'd be like this. Oh, you act like you ain't never fucked right? You ain't never fucked no. He was saying this shit, and it was mind blowing. And then there was Carlin, George Carlin. Him and Carlin were two kind of dudes. He's a white dude speaking to power, because Carlin tried to be the hippy dippy weatherman, and him and Pryor used to do TV shows together where they were all safe. Pryor was like, fuck that. George Carlin was like, I can't stand the system.
Yeah.
And that's when all that.
That's when we got the best of both of them guys.
And
man.
George Carlin be like, Earth Day.
Man, George Carlin, come on, man.
And you know, and George Carlin, I saw him live. And I'm a Carlinite and I'm a Pryorite.
Oh yeah.
And George Carlin, I got to see him live.
Comedy, man.
And Carlin. And you know, Carlin became rebellious because he grew up in Harlem. And Carlin said it. He said, I stopped hanging around the white guys in Harlem because all they talked about was who they hated. And I would hang out with the Puerto Rican and black guys. That's all I did. I got all my comedy from the Puerto Rican black guys because black people were so much freer and they were it was weird. They were accepting, they were going through all this shit, but they accepted you if your character was right. So that's why when you watch Carlin, you go, he hung around. You could tell he hung around motherfuckers. Yeah. That's when he said, fuck this. I'm growing my hair out. I'm going to talk that real shit. And Carlin is speaking to white people about themselves.
Yeah.
Earth Day. Fucking Earth Day? You think a bunch of plastic bags are gonna save this planet? Fuck you. You know what I mean? I eat, drink, and sleep Carlin and Pryor and Joan Rivers and Don Rickles and Rodney Dangerfield. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would have loved to, that comedy around that, late 60s, 70s. Ooh, experimentation. Lenny Bruce, who was arrested with George Carlin. I know my comedy history.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I don't like is when comics don't know their fucking comedy history. You ask them questions about comedy, and they don't know shit. They just know about talking about your mama and shit. Don't even know the history of talking about your mama.
But that's just like the rappers who don't know their history. They're not going to be around long.
No, they're done.
I've always noticed that the ones who know their history, the ones who respect the ones who came before them, they always seem to have longevity. I mean, they have good, long careers.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, he knows. J. Cole.
Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. There's a difference. When you know, you cannot.
Lil Wayne.
Wayne, and Lil Wayne is fire. Yeah. And you can't move ahead without knowing you just, it's in anything. Okay, when you walk into a doctor's office, what's the first thing they pull out? Your medical history. Imagine if doctors go, all right, well, ready? What?
I thought you were going to say that processing, that payment process.
Well, if you didn't pay, they go, you know you didn't pay. But they always look at your medical history first. They go, okay, and whenever you go to an office, they'll go, here, fill this out. They'll go, have you have a history of this? Do you smoke? This is all medical history. Mm-hmm. Everything is history. You watch a football game, they'll go, well, last week he was injured, and well, last year they're always talking history, mm-hmm. which leads up to what we're watching. It gives you more of a context to go, oh, God, this guy came from that team, traded. Anytime we talk about shit, they go, remember he was traded, and then you have to have history.
Yeah.
So that's why when they tell black people to forget about the history, it's fucking dumb. You don't want us to move forward. So you want us to just let you keep doing what you do without knowing why the reason is. There's a reason why you keep touching my hair. Oh, back then you were being foolish. There's a reason why you keep calling me a nigga. Oh, because you were being foolish. There's a reason why you think everything belongs to you. Oh, because you was fucking stealing everything. Ah, that's it. You have to know history no matter what the fuck aspect it is. Comedy history? Gotta know. Gotta know in the 1900s that black comedians couldn't talk to an audience solo. You couldn't do a solo monologue. It was illegal. In the early 1900s in New York and vaudeville, you couldn't talk to a white audience by yourself in a suit. You had to wear blackface. You had to cork yourself up and talk in a duo. You had to be like, well, Lord have mercy. Well, where are you going now? Well, shit, I say that. That's why they talk like that. Mm. Burt Williams was the first comedian to be filmed ever. He was a light-skinned Caribbean man who wore blackface. He wanted to be Charlie Chaplin, but he wasn't white. He was light-skinned. He even became a Mason in Scotland. You know, they got the Scottish Rite Masons and they got the Prince Hall Masons. Prince Hall is the black Masons. So he had to do that. He had to leave to become a Mason. All kinds of shit. So he always wanted to be a star, but he was black. So he had to be in blackface, and he was an educated man. But he had to be in blackface and talk dumb, like Stephen Fetchit, same way. Stephen Fetchit was not a dummy, but he had to make money. Willie Best did the same thing. Mantan Moreland did the same thing. You had Ethel Waters, you had Louise Beavers. All these people had to talk a certain way. They had to be maids, buck their eyes. Hattie McDaniel, you had to do that shit back then. You know, you should know that fucking history. So maybe you can improve. That's why when I see some, and this is what I observe. When I see, like, I had a whole thing about why do you guys are doing jokes in front of white folks and using nigga every fucking 5 minutes. I just,
boy, that irks the hell out of me.
I just want to know.
Yeah.
And I asked, I said, and these are some intelligent motherfuckers I know. There's some nerdy black comics that go nigga in front of white folks. I say, to me, you don't think you're smart enough. You're afraid to be smart in front of them. You're afraid. So you use nigga to kind of make them feel comfortable, to make them feel a little comfortable. I don't use that word unless I'm talking about the word which is apropos for what I want to say. I say, but you keep saying nigga because you're not Richard Pryor. Pryor was saying that coming from that shit. There was a difference. Even Pryor said, I need to stop saying nigga when I came from, remember Sunset Strip? He goes, I will never call another black man a nigga again. He had to go to Africa and realize it, but he came from that environment. You came from a privileged environment and you're saying nigga because you think that's black comedy. And you're saying it in front of a majority white crowd. I just asked them, I go, well, why do you do that?
Majority racist white crowd.
Yeah, and I say, and
that's the only ones who laugh at that shit.
Right, and I tell them, and I say, because let's be real, nigga is a funny word. It's hilarious. And phonetically, it's hilarious. Like when you say, man, here come this nappy head ass nigga. That shit's funny. Like, here come these niggas. That shit's funny. It's it's the funniest racial slur. Nigga is the funniest racial slur. You can say spick, that's not that funny. Chink, maybe. Goddamn chinks. These goddamn niggas. It's just, yo, this nigga here. It's hilarious. We made it even funnier.
See, I vehemently disagree with that.
And you should be able to.
I vehemently disagree with that. Like when I hear it, it irks the shit out of me. Like when I even because when I have said it and I'm gonna say it again. Yeah. Now when I say it though, I'm using it in a disparaging manner. When you say here come that nigga, that's disgusting to me when I'm saying it like that. You know, I mean, like I'm saying it because this motherfucker disgusts me. You know what I'm saying? So if I use it, I'm using it.
But is it not funny to you?
It's nothing funny about it.
And that's good that you.
You know why it's nothing funny about it? Because I understand the historical context of the word.
I do
and
too.
I know how many people have been murdered, and I know how that word has been used to subjugate people, and I know how that word has been used to destroy people's self-esteem. You know, and you know, I know how it's been used throughout history.
No doubt.
So when I hear it, it immediately evokes trauma.
And
it evokes trauma
and I hope
and negativity.
And as a comedian, I see where the funny is, but I don't use it though. I don't use it because you've never heard me use it. I don't use it. Even if if I'm talking about, I go motherfucker, I'll say, yeah, this motherfucker can be anybody. And I know people go, oh, that white nigga. I go, that doesn't work. That's a oxymoron. I go, why do you use it? Why are you using it? It seems like a crutch to me. I'm saying it seems, and in front of an all white crowd, it just seems weird. Because are they laughing because they're a little uncomfortable laughing? Are they laughing because the joke is really funny? Why do you say it? And they say, I'm not going to let somebody take away. This is what they say. I'm trying to own it. Wait a minute. When they owned you, you know what I'm saying? They called you that. But when someone calls you a nigga, you get mad. When someone is saying it with vitriol, like you fucking nigger, now you're mad. But I thought you were owning it though. Right. Then you shouldn't react when that person really calls you a nigger then.
But that's
all I'm saying.
My thing is that if you're gonna take that word and try to make it a term of endearment, why not take the other words too? Like let a motherfucker call you a bitch ass nigga and you know a hoe and any other disparaging word. You know, like all of that should go. You know, like
all of it should go.
Because actually, to me, none of those words. To me, hit harder than the N-word.
No, nothing hits harder than the N-word.
When I was locked up, I'm in the TV room and there's a show on and I made a comment. I said, I was like, look at this nigga. And white dude, Marcelli, he was sitting right next to me, and I noticed he was doing like this. He was looking at the TV like this. He was staring up at the TV, and then he looked at me, and he stared back at the TV, and he said, I don't see any black people. And I say, that's because a nigger is not associated with a person. It's so associated with behavior.
No, he said, I don't see any black.
But in his mind.
In his mind, niggas.
You know, in his mind.
When you say nigger, you think black.
When you say that, you only think,
But what that, because we were called, when you're called that, the word is associated, then it's a visual association. You understand? Like if you say, a government official. When you think of a government official, do you think of a black man or an old white man?
When I think of a
government officials say, I think of old white men when I think of, even though there are black people in government, there are Latino. When I think of a government official, I think of an old white man writing laws, making law. I think of old white men because they've been associated with power so much that the visual is, and when you think of welfare mother, you think of a black woman. You don't think of a white woman, even though white people are on welfare more than we are.
I actually don't.
I think Godfrey, when I used to think welfare mother, I used to be like,
I actually don't.
Because visually, I already know that statistically more whites are fucking on welfare. But what they would show on TV.
I know that's the image they want me to.
That's what I mean.
I know that's the image that they want me to have, but that's not the image that I have because I know better.
Right.
Same thing with government official. I just think
because you know better. Like when you think, I think in my head visually, but I know that there's, you know what I'm saying? I know that because I've been educated on it. But it's like if I think of athlete, boy, he's a damn good athlete. I don't think of a white guy. I think of a black dude. Because we've dominated so hard. White athletes, they're white athletes, but do you even think about, it's almost like they're almost extinct. But there are plenty of white athletes. But when I think, yo, this dude is one of the best athletes around, I think of a black man. I don't think of a white guy.
But see, I just think athlete.
No, I think black guy. I think automatically black. Unless you're going like this. I was watching hockey, right? And man, I think white dude. Even though there were black hockey players, I think white dude. If I go with the tennis, did you watch?
When I think hockey, I think white.
You see what I'm saying? But
it ain't nothing but like three black guys.
There's more than that though.
What, 6?
There's about plus the puck. That's about.
It ain't that.
But there's a lot more than you think. And another thing too is, black people invented hockey in 1895. Black people invented hockey in 1895 in Nova Scotia, 22 years before the NHL. There's a book called Black Ice. You can see it. And when I was talking about the history of comedy, I always bring up this book called On the Real Side by Mel Watkins. It's called On the Real Side, Laughing, Lying, and Signifying the History of African-American comedy from slavery to Richard Pryor. It's a book that every comedian, it was in the 90s, I read it in college. You should get that book to learn about who came before you. Because they used to, remember Barrel of Laughs? Where they say it was a barrel of laughs. Mm-hmm. Well, they used to make black people laugh in barrels in certain towns because they were too loud. So they go, you got to laugh in the barrel. You black nigga, laugh in the barrel.
And
so all of that.
Yeah, right. I remember. Well,
a lot of that
was horrible, bro.
So that's why my comedy, I try.
Subjected us to, man.
I try the atrocities that African Americans have been through. I'm surprised we are this peaceful. Yeah. Surprised we are this peaceful to others. We're just as violent to each other. But the atrocities that have happened to African Americans, that's why I believe African Americans are the strongest motherfuckers on the planet. Because the shit that they've gone through and they're still around, educated, building universities, inventing damn near everything in America, it's unreal. When these motherfuckers can barely build an app and motherfuckers invented what? GPS is a black woman. 3D imaging is a black woman. Laser eye surgery is a black woman. Escalators a black inventor. Elevators a black inventor. The roller coaster is Granville T. Woods. Roller coaster, everything.
Internet, the cell phone.
The cell phone. I was just watching the thing on the cell phone. Our video games is Jerry Lawson in Silicon Valley. They try not to mention him, but he's the reason why we have Xbox, Atari. He did the first, before Atari, the F1 series. Jerry Lawson, a black dude who invented home videos. Super Soaker, Lonnie Jackson. It just goes on. Sanitary napkins. It's a woman. Our ADT, our security system, is a black woman in Queens. Mary Van Brighton in 1966. She invented the home security. All of this shit we did to move the society ahead, and we still get shit on. African Americans still get shit on. I can say I'm African American because I was born in America, and I know it's like to be called nigga and all this other shit. But African American history, the shit that you talking about open heart surgery, Daniel Hale, plasma, Charles Drew. We can keep going. Surgical equipment, black people inventing, just constantly inventing, and they took everything and lied. But now things are coming into the light with all these black inventors. And black people are still thriving. Black women have the highest degrees in America. Highest degrees in America. These are the same women that were operated on with no anesthesia on their vaginas by that Dr. Mims guy who they just took down his statue in New York. These are black slave girls raped, but they're number one in academics. The fuck? Black people are the strongest, man. African Americans are the strongest. You guys are and the culture is the strongest because everybody around the world copies African Americans and then yet disrespects them to the fucking highest, and it's annoying. And enough of that shit. And African Americans, we got it. It's the unity thing. All it is unity. It's all we need, and it's a wrap. It's game over. All we need is unity, man. And they know it. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like, boy, you got a lot of potential, but you eat like shit. All you got to do is eat right, and your body starts working for you. It's like we are a body that is eating like shit. And once we all start eating right and start feeding ourselves the right shit, the body starts working right. It's one body working right. I'm telling you. It's all unity shit. It's nothing else. I want to hear. Black people are going to school. Black people go to school. Black people read. It's the unity part. It's the unity part. Stop running up other people's asses. Our culture is the shit. African, Caribbean, it's the shit.
Yeah.
Believe in that shit.
You're absolutely right about the unity, but you cannot discount, the targeting that happens against us daily. You're right. So when people start talking about why can't you guys this and why you guys this and why, or how does people come from over here and do this and do that? Yeah. Because they're not being targeted. Like, you can say what you want, but no group of people in the history of civilization has ever been able to reach their optimum potential when they've been targeted by their own government. The government makes the laws, the government enforces the laws.
No, you're right.
So they can move the goalposts whenever they feel like that. That's why when you had a few hundred cities, a few hundred towns in America
burned down,
where black people were thriving and black people owned all of their shit. They were self-sufficient, independent. They owned the hospitals, the courts,
banks.
The banks. Yeah, everything that you had a use for, the schools, they were self-sufficient, independent, and they came through and burned down everything and destroyed everything.
It's
so when they start talking that pull yourself up by the bootstrap shit, they lying. It's all fake.
Yeah, the pull yourself up by the bootstraps is a bunch of bullshit, and because they have been, and they do burn it. You got the 7 towns that are drowned under lakes. Lake Lanier that drowned 7 black towns. They actually put rivers over them. There are lakes over them. So you're right. The government will do shit to shut us down. But I'm not saying like physical. I just think mentally we should all be together still. We have no choice.
Well, I think we've made I think to your point, we made tremendous strides.
No doubt. That's facts.
Even with all of that, trauma,
that's right.
all of those atrocities, all of that targeting.
That's right.
We rise.
We still, no doubt.
Thank God for Maya Angelou.
Yes, I rise.
Thank God. Thank God for her. Yeah. Man, what is your take on Kamala Harris blowing $1 billion for within a couple of months for the election and losing? And what do you think? What did you think about that video, that viral video that came out where she was thanking her constituents? After the election, I think that viral video came out a few days ago.
I think that it's politics. You spend money to win. It's politics. spending money and losing is part of politics. What politician doesn't raise money? You got to raise money, you get money, and you lose money.
And you're supposed to spend the money,
You're supposed to spend the money. Yeah, you got to
Right.
do whatever it takes to win. It's no different than getting a team. Like, I want to buy the best players to win. If it's called cheating, then so be it. Some people say Donald Trump probably bought the fucking election. I'm like, this is politics. You play dirty. That's what the fuck you do.
I think he stole it.
I think he stole it.
I think he stole it.
Because he even said, you don't have to worry about voting for me. The votes don't, it doesn't matter. You know, it's politics. Okay, look at it even when in the debate. Trump's like, I ain't doing another debate. How about that? And they let him do just, all right, no debates. That's white male power. He used that. Then when Kamala was kind of stomping him in the debate, she really did a good job. He just goes, they're eating the dogs. They're eating dogs, they're eating cats. It's so bad. They're eating dogs, they're eating cats. I saw the whole thing on TV. They're eating hippos, they're barbecuing parakeets. It's so bad. Barbecuing parakeets, can you believe it? They're eating dogs. And Kamala, she doesn't care about the dogs or the cats. I've never seen this in my life. And they're eating dogs and cats. He went on such a fucking tangent. Kamala was like, I've never seen Kamala look blacker than ever. She was like, what's this motherfucker talking about? They're eating dogs. She doesn't know because she's a terrible vice president. And Joe Biden right now is shitting his pants. I call him Sloppy Joe. He's Sloppy Joe. Whenever he shits his pants, he's sloppy. But that was the funniest shit. I laughed for a long time. They're eating the dogs. Meow, meow. Ruff, ruff. And I love dogs. I love cats. They're some of the best animals. You ever get a dog or a cat? I tell you, it's so great. But that Kamala, she's going to get rid of all the dogs and cats. And I tell you, those barbecued parakeets, these people love barbecue.
But what is your prediction?
The blacks.
What is your prediction for the blacks over the next 4 years?
My prediction for the blacks, who knows? But I know we need the NFL and the NBA, so you don't have to worry. We need championships. We need lots of dunks. We need lots of touchdowns. So it depends. There's special kind of blacks. The way he says blacks, he keeps that L up there, blacks. Because he goes, Kamala Harris, she was Indian for 10 years. When I met her, she was Indian. Every time I saw her, I don't know her that well, but I'd say, hey, well, what are you? I'm Indian. And then 10 minutes ago, she turned black. She turned black. She turned into a black person. It was very strange.
Man, how are you able to so effortlessly switch up the octaves in your voice, man, to get that dude down? Because he got about 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, I just watch and I just do it. I can't really explain it. You look at Ari Spears or Jay Farrow. You look at all these guys that can imitate. And we just do it. It's just kind of, you just go, you just try it. Obama, this guy, he's an idiot. You just can do it. I don't know. I told you, Steve Harvey, it's just Richard Pryor, suck my dick, nigga, shit. Right? This is a residential district, nigga. I just can, Cosby, you see, and the people come in and it's abadoo-ba-dabadoo. I can just do it. I never... Sometimes I might have to work if I'm not in the range. It's like you're tuning an instrument. Like maybe it's like a person is trying to play at a certain octave, and you have the ability to. If I do Jason Statham, it's in my range. I told you I'm the transporter. It's what I do. I can switch up. It's weird.
Man,
Optimus Prime.
That is absolutely amazing.
It's a freaky, it's a freaky thing I've always could do when I was little. Even my brother, he could do stuff too. I just could always do it.
So who we know that we know that you're up there at the top in terms of impersonation, impressions, but. And you just mentioned Aries. You mentioned
Jay Farrow,
which is super dope.
And there's a guy named C. King who does a perfect Denzel. Nobody can fuck with his Denzel.
What's his name?
C. King. He's on Wild Now.
I saw him.
Denzel.
He's dope.
It's just
he got his down
Denzel.
pat.
Ain't nobody fucking with that.
He got that down. He got it.
Nobody fucking with that.
Yeah.
That shit is incredible. He's perfect pitch.
But somebody who people kind of know he can do it, he got it, but I don't hear them putting him in the discussion as often. Is Jamie Foxx.
Oh, Jamie
Foxx is a fool with those impressions.
Jamie can do
man.
impersonations. I did because he's in movies so much, and we're on social media when he's doing a big film. We're in our underwear going, you know what I'm saying? And it's because of probably the level. He's not really doing it as much online because he's doing other shit.
Right.
We're the ones going, I got to get followers.
Right.
So let me do this, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I think. That's why I think. Yeah, he could imitate. There's other cats that can imitate. There was Chris Thomas from back in the day who was a good impersonator. There's a lot of people that can do impersonations. There's a guy that does a Deion Sanders. It's really funny.
I don't know if there's a lot, man. I think it's a few. I'm talking about really, really good.
Oh yeah, they can do a whole bunch.
I'm saying who can do a lot. You know what I'm saying? Who can do various voices.
It's
only a few who can really knock it out the park.
Yeah.
Can knock that thing out the park.
And then it's not even like, okay, me and Aries had a contest. Aries calls me. He goes, "Yo, God, I saw you do your Paul Mooney. I think I got a better one, right?" I can do Aries. Yo, I saw it. I was like, nah, I gotta get this nigga. Right?
That's him. That's him.
He goes, I think my Paul Mooney. I think I got you on the Paul Mooney. I'm not saying your shit is, man, but your shit is tough. But I swear to God, I think I got you on that. I said, cool. So I did a joke about Meg Markle.
Did y'all go online to do that?
I did a joke about, that's my man. I did a joke about Meg Markle. Right, I'm Paul Mooney talking about Meg Markle, and I said, Meg Markle, see, you got your nigga wake up call. I mean, brilliant, very pretty girl, very pretty, but you ain't royal, you crown royal. That's what I said, and then everyone's like, because I try to get into Paul Mooney's head. I try to get into what somebody would say, like Donald Trump. He would say some stupid shit like the parakeets are being barbecued. I've seen them. It's so sad. Are we gonna save the parakeets? Who knows? He would say some shit like that. I try to get into the barbecue. I swear to God, Willie D, this is one of the best podcasts. I don't like Joe Rogan too much. I did his podcast, but you're the Ghetto Boys because you're from the ghetto, so that's why you called yourself the ghetto. Very bad place to be. You've done so well. The Ghetto Boys. Willie D. Willie! You're so good. D is for dynamite. That's what it should be for. You should be Willie Dynamite, like the pimp.
Man, get your ass off my show. How the fuck did you get in here in the first place?
You needed me here, Willie. You know you needed me here. No one comes to your show but me. Your show is at a high level now, Willie D. Because your mind is playing tricks on me. What a great song. It's my favorite song. It's such a good song. Yeah, but I watch people.
Oh, man.
Because Carson was one of the first people I imitated. Because I was a big Johnny Carson fan. And I'd be like, wow, I did not know that. Good stuff. We have a good rapper. Wow. His name is Willie D. He's going to be rapping. He's from the Ghetto Boys. Very good show. You know what I mean? I used to do that.
Can you do Arsenio Hall?
No, but when I finally met Arsenio, Arsenio was like, God, man, I love you, man. I love you. Like, no, brother. Woo. He's very caring. Yeah. He's like, ooh, I wanted to ask you a question, brother. Arsenio, what a great! Arsenio's another funny son of a bitch. Arsenio, they don't give him his credit.
Man, I'm giving it to him.
Yeah,
man.
Harlem Nights.
Oh, man.
And Coming to
Everything
America.
he touch.
His show. Yeah, Arsenio's a beast. What a legend.
Everything he do.
Everything he does, he never fails, never misses. What? Quick! I'm gonna kill you, quick! Oh, you really, nigga? Oh, damn. Funny.
Yeah.
Eddie knew how to pick him. Eddie was a guy that like helped people out. Eddie Murphy pulled people in. Chris Rock and Arsenio. Eddie did that. Eddie did it.
Yeah.
Eddie was doing his best to bring people in when he had the power. He brought people in. Martin Lawrence. He brought David Allen. He brought people in. What the fuck's the problem here?
Yeah.
Like, that's what we should do. You want to bring people in so they can rise, not so just to give them, teach a motherfucking man how to fish, man. Yeah. You feel me? That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. And I wanted to tell you about the SNL thing. When I auditioned back in the day, the first time I auditioned for SNL, I got a standing ovation. You had to do 4 characters, 4 impersonations. I did 5. I got standing O. Didn't even make it to the second round. Didn't make it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't make it.
And I'm not surprised. Like I said, I know what you can do. I know what you can, and they know what you can do. It's just
so. What's the reason? Remember, you were going to tell me the reason.
It's just.
What do you think the reason is?
Well, it's just a matter that you're a man.
Because I'm black.
No. It's not just well, you're a black man. Because if you was a white man, you'd be good.
Oh, I'd be on 10 sitcoms. I'd be on 10 of them.
Yeah, you'd be good because, white dudes are allowed to be rebels. They're allowed to be if they decide that they want to be anti-patriotic, they can be that. If they decide if they want to be critical of the government, they can be critical of the government and not be looked at as somebody who hates their race.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So they can do that. But if we do it, we can do the same thing, and they go, oh, he's a racist. Oh, he must not like America.
Oh, here you go, race baiting again. Yeah. Oh, man, the race baiter. See, what you're doing is dividing the country. I go, it's been divided, asshole. It's been divided.
So it's that thing that you have that you ain't gonna rock with the baby oil. You know what I'm saying? You ain't down.
You don't want to join the slip and slide.
Yeah, you ain't down with the baby oil, and that's part of it because a lot of times when they give, and I'm not saying all black men have been subjected to this, but a lot of times when they give black men opportunities, they want to make sure that they can emasculate you. They want to make sure that you're the type of dude that can be emasculated. That's why a lot of the dudes, black guys that are on top, they really ain't got no real opinions that they can share publicly. Like if it's an opinion, that's anti-establishment, if their genuine opinion is that they are all the way with the establishment and everything's hunky-dory and all, they can say all they want to.
Yeah.
But if they have a problem with the establishment or whatever, they're gonna get their legs chopped off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a big part of it is the fact that you ain't with, that system that they have.
But I think that even though, like with the Puffy being in jail, with the whole Harvey Weinstein, with all these people getting taken down, I hope that the culture will change and they will just let people earn their shit. A woman doesn't have to take off her clothes to make it. A man doesn't have to take it in the ass to take it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I hope that with this is a lesson learned where people are getting, you know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, I got that role because I didn't have to. Hopefully I'm hoping the culture will change because people are getting taken down hardcore. People are being reported on their shit. And maybe it'll work. I hope so. The race thing, I don't know. Sometimes, they got to be in the mood to pick a certain kind of Negro. I don't know. Do we want that? It sucks. But it does. I thank God for social media, man. I really do, man. I'm glad I got off my ass, especially during COVID. I said, you know what? Instead of bitching, why don't you you don't want to piss against the wind. I'm going to go and try and put myself up. And thank God I started to do that because people didn't know I can do all these voices. And I went against a lot of these cats. I went against Jay Farrell. Farrell always ready for a challenge. Farrell's always ready. Aries Spear, we would get online. Our Afion Crocker, we did. And people didn't know. I go, we didn't know you had that many voices. I go, yeah. I just never had a chance to express it on a TV show.
And see,
all you guys have, not me.
All of you guys are really, really good and passionate about what y'all do. So, really, man, it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. And it just come down to being subjective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not a lot after that because all of y'all are really, really good at that.
Yeah, man. I wish, and I'm not a hater on anything. I just don't like people bad-mouthing others, especially if you're in a room of producers or whatever and they bring up a particular person. Why are you shitting on them? Like, keep it to yourself because they're judging you with that too. I said, keep it to yourself, man. Like, if you're doing it out of insecurity, it's bullshit. Because I love telling another person about a gig. I'll say, hey, man, you should go blah, blah, blah. Because ain't nobody want to see you all the time. Mix it up. If you're good enough, you're going to be all right. You're going to have your position, man. Be established first, then distribute. Don't just because you got something you owe anybody. No, I always say if you have the power, if you got a production company, hey, I'd love to pitch something to you. That's what you do. And we know it's not guaranteed, but at least give me a chance. But some cats, I don't know. And you know what I do? I've asked my manager, check around to see if I've pissed anybody off, if just to check. It's like a checkup, just to see. Because this business is built on bullshit. It's built on phony. It's built on people not holding themselves accountable. It's people who don't want to say sorry. It's people who go, hey man, I didn't know. That was my bad. Because people will hold a grudge on some bullshit on you. Maybe you talked about motherfuckers' shoes like, man, look at them dirty ass shoes. They'll remember that shit. Now they a director, they say, he talked about my shoes. Like little shit like that. That's why I say, because everybody's asking. This is how you know. In New York City, when I'm walking down the street, garbage motherfuckers be stopping like, hey man, when the fuck you gonna get up? When city workers stop what they're doing, that means they're recognizing it. I get bus drivers go, hey man, you wanna ride, man? You dope as fuck, man. We waiting on you, dog. You should be in all. And I go, I'm trying, bro. It's not like nobody's waking up to suck. Right. Nobody's waking up to suck. Everybody's waking up to go, maybe this will be a different day.
Well, the prostitutes
maybe
are.
this what?
Prostitutes are.
Prostitutes are. Yeah, even the prostitutes take a break.
They're waking up to suck, though.
They wake up to suck. When do they go to bed?
Hey, you mentioned holding a grudge. Are the Dominicans still holding a grudge against you for what you said about them?
You know what? You know what's so funny? It's like the Dominicans show me love. They be like, hey, Papa, I like that shit you said about Dominicans, man. I like that. No, I know black, Papa. It's true, though. It's true. It's cierto. A lot of guys do that. My father, he's dark like you like that. He say he know black. It's crazy, right? but I said this. Now I put that in my act. I said, yo, in January when they start deporting motherfuckers, watch the Dominicans be like, I'm black. I forgot. I'm black. I know Spanish. I'm black.
They're going to code switch in a heartbeat.
I was a slave. I pick a cotton. I remember I pick a cotton. Wade in the agua. Wade in the agua, liaison. I'm telling you, Papa, todo bien. Dominica.
Man, what you got coming up besides what's going on right now? What should we be looking forward to? And by the way, again, in Godfrey We Trust
on the
podcast
Network. Yeah.
is super, super dope. Always interesting. Holds my attention. And it moves fast. I mean, even when you have a 2-hour episode, it's moving. Boom, boom,
yeah,
boom,
that's what we believe.
I like that. Thank
you.
So we got that going on. We know that you when you're not on the road, you're in New York playing the cellar.
New York, you're playing the comedy cellar all the time and on the road a lot. But I doing like animation. I just did. Nick Kroll has a new animation called Mating Season. I'm doing voices on that, and I just did a Tyler Perry film, which is coming out next year, 2025. Tyler Perry I got offered a film, and shout out to Tika Sumpter. I play her ex-boyfriend in that. Her boyfriend in it. I got a couple scenes. Tyler Perry was great, cool ass dude, man. His studio is incredible. Cool. He directed it. It was dope. We had fun. So I'm in the Tyler Perry fucking realm now and shit, which is crazy. Yeah. It's called Sisters in Italy. So yeah, man, I'm doing a lot of different things. And the social media is what, Godfrey Comic is my social media, Godfrey Comic. And my TikTok is Godfrey Comedian. So I have a big presence on that. And and there's stuff that I'm trying to create, with certain production companies. So I'm just like on a creation thing, man, just trying to get it, man. And I don't want to talk before anything happens,
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to jinx that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just have somebody trying to run interference. Because they will do that.
Whew. Them motherfuckers, woof.
Yeah.
So I don't say a fucking word. You know what I mean? Trying to just carve out my own lane, bro.
Man, we was talking about hecklers at your show earlier.
Yeah.
What's the craziest, wildest thing that somebody's ever said at your show that like yelled out at your show?
I remember a dude called me a nigger. It was a Mexican dude. I remember that shit. That motherfucker called me a nigger.
He was ranking on him or something?
I said something. He was saying something. I was saying something back. It was like, oh, no. Yeah, it was that. He called me a nigger, right? He said, you fucking nigger. I said, and I went like this, but you're Mexican. It doesn't count. And everybody started laughing. I said, oh, pobrecito. No, you should have called me negrito. I said, you're Mexican, dude. That just cancels itself out. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So that worked. And then I had a fight with a dude where him and his girlfriend were talking and heckling me, and then I got them real good. Bam, 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 got them. This is the same club, Comedy Cellar. So I come outside, and this is when I was doing martial arts and shit, and you're doing martial arts, you go, I'm waiting on a motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah. You're really not, but you're like, maybe. And the dude comes out. I remember he's a kind of a little husky white dude. He's like, man, I didn't appreciate what you said, man. I didn't appreciate that. Me and my girlfriend. I said, you guys were talking the whole time. You were interrupting me, and I got you. And I wasn't even that mean. I shut you down like I'm supposed to. I'm hosting the show. And guess what? Ironically, I had brought Louis C.K. up on stage. So he's on stage. I'm outside, and I'm on the street just hanging out. And he goes, Joe, he's like, so you're not going to apologize? I goes, nah, I ain't going to apologize, man. You lost, bro. That's it. He goes, well, fuck you. You're not funny. I go, well, you and your girlfriend are the most average-looking motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. He goes, what? I said, you heard the fuck I said? And he ran at me, just trying to tackle me. And the day before that, we had been working on takedowns. I studied Hapkido for a decade. So my master was teaching us takedowns when people run at you. We had done it for 3 hours, takedowns. I was like, and I told my teacher, I said, so you mean people really run at you like that? Yeah, they run at you like that. You never know. The next day, this motherfucker's running at me, textbook, coming at me the same way. And when you take martial arts or you box, something slow motion happens. Sometimes you go, oh shit, is this really happening right now? So the motherfucker came at me, and I did exactly what I learned, and I flipped him on his back. I was like, oh shit, the shit worked. I'm sitting there like on top of him, like, yo man, chill with that shit, right? I don't fight. I'm not a fighter. I don't do that. I said, man, fucking chill. What's wrong with you? Now he's a white dude. I'm on top of him. I gotta get off him before his police come and get me. So I get off him, right? So this dude is still coming at me. I'm like, God damn. So he reaches at me and rips my shirt. So I'm hosting the show. My shirt rips. Okay, great. My watch is broke. It comes off. So now we're squaring up. I go, I got to square up. I got to square up. But then I know I could kick really fast, right? So then people are watching. They're like, yo, get him. So I go and I'm a lefty. So I roundhouse this motherfucker into a gate. Pow! Because I said, oh, his guard is down. I'm going to hit him. Smack. I caught his whole shit. And then I ran downstairs, right? And I left him down there. I was checking to see if the show, Louis was done. And I ran across the street. I ran back out of the club to get a T-shirt because my shirt was ripped. It was a Bruce Lee T-shirt. And I got it. And this Indian dude was selling. He said, I saw you kick that motherfucker. Motherfucker, that was good. Here, take it free. You can have it free. And I had a Bruce Lee shirt on the back and said, what the? I can't make this shit up. No. And then I get back on stage. Everybody goes, what happened to your shirt? I say, oh, long ass story, dog. And so when I come after the show's over, the police are there. The dude's holding his face because I had fucking kicked him. And he's like, there he is right there. It's him. And the cops are like, okay, so what happened here? What happened? I go, oh, I get it. This is where the black dude gets blamed, right? They were like, hey, what are you trying? I said, he fucking struck at me first, and I kicked him, blah, 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 blah. I explained it to him, right? Then he tried to strike me again, and I jabbed him in his mouth. And this was just, and I don't fight. In front of the cops. In front of the cops. Because he was like, you fucking, bomb, hit him right in his mouth. Because I had a quick-ass jab. And I'm not a boxer, but I always had a quick jab. I said, whop, right in his mouth. And this happened for real. And I don't do this often.
And what they do?
They were like, hey, yo, bro, what the fuck? I say, you see how he's trying to fucking attack me? So that was about it. And then we split up, and it was cool. Went into the fucking restaurant. It was crazy. That was crazy. That's the craziest that's happened to me. Yeah. I've had other people protect me in comedy clubs. I had one guy goes, I was talking about the vaccinations in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. So all my friends, I got college friends there, grade school friends there, high school, everybody's. And it's dark, and I'm talking about the vaccines and shit. It's some funny jokes. And this man goes, I thought you were smarter than that. Some white dude. And I said, well, I'm smarter than you. He's like, how do you? I said, I'm Nigerian. We're better than you in academics. You can check the stats. Say, you're white. You're not that great in academics anymore. You just got you got to jump on us. 100 years of being able to read. Black people didn't read for 100 years, and we still caught up to you. What does that tell you? So motherfucker's like, ah! He goes, we could take it outside. I said, I don't think you want to do that, sir. All of a sudden, my boys rise up. Yeah, hey, man, get your fucking bitch ass out of here. Everybody, I was like, I told you, I'm from Chicago. Place went crazy. He said, you can't fuck with me. What, you crazy? Cats back me up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was cool. I've had Nation of Islam stand up for me, all kind of shit.
And now Willie D standing up for you.
Thank
man.
you.
Salute.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Salute.
Appreciate you, man.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Godfrey.
Oh, they're eating the dogs.
No more talk.